BBS. My name is Uche Chukwu Ebonam.
And once again, I'm Roy Ekunife.
And we've been joined by two guest analysts in the studios. We have Chukwunonso Ekesiobi, PhD, Department of Economics, Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu Igbariam University, Anambra State, Secretary, Nigerian Economic Society, NES, Anambra State Chapter, Convener, Policy Analysis and Research Congress, SPARC, COOU, and recently the newly appointed Special Assistant to the Vice Chancellor, COOU, on Strategy and Policy Implementation. Very good morning to you and welcome to Press Review.
Good morning, TGIF.
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
And also we have a civil rights activist, Chairman Editorial Board, the Erudite Magazine, Okeka Adigbo Oguno Ifeanyi. Welcome to Press Review.
All right, we've rolled out the stories from the ABS website, www.absradiotv.com. Let's have your thoughts on the stories before we go on to the national dailies.
So, who fires the first salvo?
Man who burnt wife to death begs children for forgiveness as Anambra State government insists on justice must take full course. Well, it's a heartbreaking story, you know. If I have one thing, it's a very painful, pathetic situation, more especially for the kids. You know, the kids actually need a lot of counseling, because to them, some will see the society as the cause, some will side their father, some will side their mother. So they need a proper balancing and counseling. And then this also mirrors the society. You know, growing up, my father would tell us, no, well, and then it also teaches us another Igbo adage na say na ofu anya ka eji anu di na nwunye. Onye chọrọ ịnụ nwaanyị ya je zụọ atụrụ. Ọzụsị atụrụ zụta nwa ya. You know, a marriage would need a lot of understanding, maturity, and capacity to bear. No matter what the story is, whether in favor of the man, in favor of the woman, catastrophe has struck the society. You know, these are things that affect the psyche of people around. This is a burning story, but to me, what the society needs to do, all of us needs to do, is to start rebalancing our lives and how we look at things. Some will say, we don't need to marry. Some will say, thank God baby mothers are there. Or some other thoughts going on people's mind. But the truth remains. Should the society continue like this? The answer is no. A lot of works need to be done. A lot needs to be done from all that are involved. On the government side, thank God for the government of Anambra State, we are given at least free education. It's not easy to take care of kids. You know, feed them 5 solid boys, 5. And men, we're good in food, you know. And then, this man also is from an unstable arrangement. No brother, no sister. So, all these things are part of the problem. In fact, the society needs to create room for counseling, a lot of counseling. The churches, the society, the ministries, especially Ministry of Women Affairs, you know, a lot is going on in people's mind. A lot is going on in people's mind. You know, our cultures and traditions and beliefs are being altered daily by events, activities, and all what's not. So we need to start redirecting people to get a proper balance in our society. We must learn to call alo alo.
Okay.
There are many interesting issues up for discussion. First, I'll start from our home. The state government is encouraging people to take advantage of the free education policy. That's through the Honorable Commissioner for Education, which is a good one. it makes no sense when you make this kind of policy interventions and the targeted beneficiaries don't take advantage of it. So it's good that this call, we are re-echoing this call, and going further, that's on the recipients. Then on those who are providing the services, you can see that the chairman of the PPSSC, as the Post-Primary
School Service Commission.
Yes, yeah, commission, is tasking principals not to sabotage the same free education we are talking about. So we need all hands on deck for this policy to be a success.
Yeah.
So while we are calling for households, to their parents to make sure their wards benefit from this policy, those who are responsible for implementing this policy should on their own part not jeopardize the efforts of the state government to make sure that we bring illiteracy in the state to the barest minimum.
Yeah.
Then going beyond education, there's a commendation rightly accorded to the governor by a former Anambra lawmaker on the part of especially security, because the impact of this security law and the Udogachi exercise is already yielding fruits. So it is commendable, and we hope to see more. But beyond that, from the state to the national to the global, you see that at the national level, the president is assuring our troops of improved welfare. We have been hearing this thing over and over again. I think we need to move from assurance to guarantee. So we make sure that these things are guaranteed and not necessarily an assurance. Then lastly, I want to go to Trump. Yeah, because Trump is signing executive orders left, right, and center. So it's difficult for even the press to keep up with what is happening in the White House at the moment. But one of the key ones that strike our attention is that of ending birthright citizenship. And so there has been a reprieve, briefly, as a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the bill. But with the kind of arrangement he has in the legislature, where the Republican Party is controlling both houses, if the thing goes to the legislature, he may score a victory there. If it goes to the U.S. Supreme Court, which is largely made up of conservative justices now, he may also succeed. So, but that this policy is, especially for developing countries, that we always want to pride ourselves as having being citizens of another country. This may give us a rethink. Then lastly, Okonjo Iweala, our own sister, the World Trade Organization Director General, is cautioning against trade war. And why is she saying so? Trump has come in and is talking about tariffs and the rest. And you see, these things, when you initiate it, others may, in trying to reciprocate, bring up this trade war that she is trying to avert. But you see, this goes to tell us the kind of hypocrisy we have been showing in terms of when they were bringing this agenda of globalization. Don't worry, they just want to make the world one village. That's because globalization is supposed to guarantee free movement of persons across countries, free movement of finance, international finance flows, free movement of goods and services, and free movement of technology. But now you are trying to block free movement of goods and services because of these tariffs, and if everybody does so, the whole international trade will just be chaotic.
All right, the phone lines to callers are 0706 538 1320
or 0904 9560 826.
You can as well send us WhatsApp messages to the WhatsApp number 0705 113 8812. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mama.
Ndị ga-ese ekenekwa m
Daalụ.
debe ese ma ya mbata Emmanuel Okonkwo.
No, Emmanuel.
Onye ụfọdụ ihe ọzọ m na-ekwu, ọkwasịrị ụdọ osisi jere akwụkwọ na-ekwu ndị niile na-emekwa ndị pịa wata na Roma ọ na-esi chọnụ taskfọs ka eji ejidebelu ọgbajewe n'akwụkwọ maka ịpụtakwa ihe nke ejele ọkọ ebe nwa ya akọ na-agba ka moto neka ntị ka gwụọ ọ bụ na a ga-achọ taskfọs agụma niile ahụ ebe a na-ere elu na-apagharịta pịa wata ka agbajebe akwụkwọ by force ngwanị ka nna bụ ma ya m.
Okay,
Right.
thank you for your contribution.
Yes, and on that, last year PPSSC went around. I think they started with Nibo, where they had to take school children to Hawking to school and register them in schools where they could take free education. Probably they're doing it maybe community by community. They did Nibo last year, and hopefully it will spread across every other community in Anambra State for everybody to know that they mean serious business. Hello. Okay, we're keeping sending your messages. You can as well drop your comments on Facebook at ABS Anambra Broadcasting Service. That's our page on Facebook. Join the live stream and drop your comments over there. We'll read them out when we do see them. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mao.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Harvest of the East.
Champions.
The guest in the studio, good morning, Mao.
Good morning.
My name is Madaka Francis. I'm calling you now all the way from Obunka.
Okay,
You're
good
welcome
morning.
to-
I want to talk about Neke Surunde Yoko. You see, because I begin to learn that this man is a welder. I'm not just a lazy man like that. So I just narrated now, young narrated the highest in the area of wicked, the most wicked person in Anambra State. Yesterday in Kurieba, my mom was back to the bed also because of the tension of Korea. My children bread is the even near back. Take this with a friend, one man is showing up, a woman with 5 children. Why not send her home? Very simple. So that you have to listen to other people. Now I have forgiveness from the children. Which forgiveness? All the problem with these children under a booyah. So I just connect all them all prison because everyone went to Jerusalem. Thank you very much this morning. God bless you.
All right,
Bless you
bless you
too.
too.
For your
Okay,
contribution.
we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll dive into the stories from the national dailies.
Good morning, my people. Now your pilot today, Eluna. Today we get special passengers for inside plane. 3 Betano members they go England to go watch Aston Villa match live. Big congratulations to Emeka, Yemi, and Ibrahim.
Play with Betano and you will get a chance to enter UK for free to go watch the match between Aston Villa and Tottenham. Betano, a proud partner of Aston Villa. Play responsibly. Now only for people who don't pass 18 years. This promo will they run from November 1st, 2024 to February 28th, 2025.
ịtụ ndụ mmanụ na-amasị m ya mere m jiri na-eri nri akpọrọ aka sie nke na-edozi ahụ n'ime ite ji porridge ntinyecha azụ ntinye yabasị ose na ogo tupu m tinyezie nut cube nke ga-ewepụta ọmarịcha ụtọ dị na nri m ka ọ bụrụ eri amịcha aka ndị be anyị chetanụ na nke onye riri ka o buo tinye akwụkwọ nri na-ama pokopoko na nri gị niile werezie nut cube mee ya ka ọ bụrụ eri amịcha aka rie nri na-edozi ahụ taa.
Crystal Garden Estates, Aloma, Aladilari, Diagora Ladima, Gabriel landlord na landlady na Crystal Garden Estates. On where a sea of hope, Alana no you know Punuka it's registered. Crystal Garden Estates.
Crystal Garden Estate is a tested and trusted real estate company that has choice estates on table land spread across different areas in Asaba Delta State, Anambra State, Imo, Abia, Rivers, Enugu, and Ebonyi States. Crystal Garden Estate head office is at number 16 New Market Road, opposite GT Bank, Onitsha, Anambra State. Branch office, number 9 Oka Road, Pacific Complex, by 5-Star Restaurant, Suite FF16, Oka Road, Onitsha, Anambra State. For inquiries, please call 070-675-22243 or 080-3658-4214.
On where a sea of hope, Alana no you know Punuka it's registered. Crystal Garden Estate.
Hello
abeg no vex. This Milo packet look different too. I see say dem write support energy release for this packet. Abeg, na the same Milo?
No, this na the new improved Milo. The support energy release mean say when you give your pikin dem Milo as part of their breakfast, you dey give them enough energy wey dem need to go school.
Ah, I like this one.
Your pikin dem need nourishing energy. Make you give them the new improved Milo for breakfast. E get correct nutrients wey dey support energy release to help them use their day well. Milo, energy.
All right, welcome back to Press Review. We'll move on to the trending stories from the national dailies. Kicking off with stories from the Daily Times. On the Daily Times, you have on the banner headline, Tinubu's tax reform will support Nigeria's revenue drive investments, says Carlo. INEC announces dates for Anambra Guba FCT cancels poll. Ganduje profiles solutions to end banditry nationwide. Insecurity threatening Nigeria's food production, coming from Speaker. Food prices skyrocket by 97% in 1 year. Southeast hardest hit, coming from NBS. DMO to raise 450 billion naira through federal government of Nigeria bonds issuance. Police accuses Sterling Bank of money laundering dealings. These are the trending stories from the Daily Times.
And from Vanguard, Transcorp Power posts 115% pre-tax profit to 305.9 billion naira. Telecom's tariff will be reviewed periodically. That's from Edun. Military's welfare are priority. That's from Tinubu. Judge temporarily blocks Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. Inflation will fall. Economy. Inflation will fall. Economy to grow by 4.1% this year. That's a report credited to CBN. And we have the riders as forex reforms attracted $6 billion capital inflows. List price stability, investors' confidence as priorities. Oyedele defends federal government's 15% inflation rate projection. NESG lists measures for economic stability in 2025. World Bank urges federal government to increase beneficiaries of social intervention. And on a very sad note, ex-FCT Minister General Jerry Seni dies at 82. May so rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
And then we still have Adego Kemoda. A court upholds appeal court upholds Adedoyi's death sentence. Minister orders deployment of passport printers in U.S. consulates. And finally, police rescue AIG Odumosu's wife, killed 2 kidnappers.
From the Punch, we have Telecom's tariff hike. Subscribers meet NCC today as Labour mobilizes for showdown. Writers say Labour officials talk tough, insist telcos must be prevented from exploiting Nigerians. Well, let's see how it goes out there with NLC today. Refineries revamp, marketers eye rehabilitation of NNPCL's 21 depots. Forced retirement. Falana urges Tinubu to reinstate 20 generals, 18 others. Police post 10,000 constables, plan 30,000 annual recruitment. Opposition cautions against diversion of 4 billion naira household bailout. Still on the Punch, Tinubu opens Abuja barracks, promises better soldiers' welfare. OAU students murder. Appeal court affirms Oshun hotelier's death sentence. How we rescued ex-AIG's wife, killed abductors, coming from the police. And then finally from the Punch, Oyebanji kicks against Sharia court in Ekiti, warns opposition.
Daily Independent, there's no Sharia court panel in our judicial structure. That's from Ekiti government. Now threatens nationwide protest over 50% telecom tariff hike. Edun says tariff will be reviewed periodically. We are tackling grid collapse with building of 34 substations. That's a report from the federal government. Says 8 billion naira in 2025 budget for protection of power infrastructure. Electricity has reached 3-year high of 5,528 megawatts. Still trending here, Shetima Abdul Salami Atiku will be to proffer solutions to electoral malpractices orders. Tinubu assures of his commitment to welfare of Nigerian army, commissions newly built army barracks named after him. Mother of OAU student, appeal court upholds Adedoyi's death sentence. Nigerian youths very resourceful, admired globally. That's from Oluremi Tinubu. Governor Muf Wang mourns Jeremiah Husseini. FGOK's 4 billion naira conditional cash transfer for vulnerable households. Approves 2 billion naira interest-free loans for rural farmers.
All right. Okay, there's a story from there. A judge temporarily blocks Trump's plan to end birthright citizenship. These are the stories so far from National Dailies. Let's have your thoughts on the trending stories this morning.
Okay, Tinubu tax reform will support Nigeria revenue drive investment, says Kali. It's a simple truth. We can't continue to deceive ourselves. Taxation is purely a principle of derivation. If you don't join to cook, why do you want to sup in the meal? And then this also will drive the state governors to look inward and start developing their states, not waiting for the handouts that comes from Abuja. You know, let me use one funny palace. Onye nada angu beer. Ochoki aliye ulu dina afya mmanya beer. Ano onye na hata ona na-eji eze ekie. We need to develop our states. There is no state in Nigeria that doesn't have solid minerals to run itself or vast acre of land. Look at the marriage between Lagos and Kebbi, the lake rice. You know, these are things we'll be talking about. These are how development should come. You know, if you are not good in commerce, you also should be good in agriculture. We had tractor manufacturing plant in Bauchi. As we speak, it's moribund. The mills that were producing our clothing in Kano, they are all gone home. And the governors feel it doesn't concern me. No, this is a stitch in time that will save 10, if not, that will save 9, if not 10. The world is pulling off from carbon energy to other forms of energy, and Nigeria is solely dependent on oil. We export nothing outside crude oil. And Africa as a country exports only raw materials. This is the time for us to start thinking inwards. I listened to the president of Uganda, where he was analyzing the trade deficit between Africa and the rest of the world. And he made a simple decision that nobody exports raw material out of Uganda. Simple. If you need those raw materials, come to Uganda and develop the industries there. But exporting any raw material is practically not possible. And the comparative analysis was very clear that if cocoa sells at 4 million in the international market, that the cocoa producer, the cocoa farmer, gets less than $1 from the whole thing. The other proceeds from the cocoa processing comes outside there. Then if Africa must develop, I think this is the right thoughts. If the states must develop, I think this is the right thoughts. If you produce in excess, give to the next man. Bring him in to come and invest in those states. You know, you don't wait for somebody to toil while you enjoy the dividends of his toiling. I think that tax reform, everybody should embrace it. We should also look at Jerry Boy. Finally, he's gone.
Jerry Boy.
You know,
yeah. Wow.
There's only a very few that will understand this. You know?
Jerry Boy.
Jerry Boy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, this tells you the life is transcends.
Yes, sir. That's the inevitable end of all mortals.
You know, inflation will fall.
Out.
The economy will grow. Well, the economist is with us here. He will tell us if it's possible. In fact, we are to a very reasonable extent. We are getting fed up with all these projections and stories. You know, forex reform. The truth is, we have good policies. The problem is, how do we implement it? Police accuses Sterling Bank of money laundering. Don't know bego uchai de kwea. Ake nwe di kwa ka aka mmadu n'ime ofe.
Wandoka.
Okay. Somebody is even watching us. Let's drop his comment from Facebook. Star White Onyobodo. Good morning to you all in the studio. You guys are doing a good job. Keep it up. God bless you guys. Star White Onyobodo watching live in Mbauku, Anambra State. Keep your comments coming.
Okay, let's take this call before we go over to Biggie. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
No, do watching another come. Good night, and in my studio.
No.
Because even the Tiano Maka Woke Burunia, the Tina Buru for there's a Maramka, who do mothers were my PTI. So that even the now you wouldn't give us say, come on, you're going out, Jelanga. Overnight, you in Nigeria so that any things in the got through. Before, I'm talking about a death sentence. I'm going to say about any figure. Say my man, I say my car, I would bet. You want that? Another will get any other got 2 pence. Before I got 1 year, at the month, what I be afraid to go. It's not pretty much
an eye for an eye, right?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's your opinion. Yeah, Biggie.
There are a lot of things to discuss as usual, but all the macroeconomic fundamentals that are on the headlines.
Yes, it's good we have you here.
The one that is talking about the one that is talking about taxation. Look, the truth is that Nigeria we are not serious. That's the bottom line, because it is because of the dwindling fortunes of our crude oil revenue that we are now discussing taxation. Ordinarily, nobody wants, no government in the past has paid serious attention to tax revenue in this country. So it's just because that we are looking for an alternative now to support our previous mainstay. That is why we are talking about tax. But the problem is we don't know how to go about it because we have never gotten it right before. So it's good the conversation is going on, and like he has said, it's a principle of derivation. You don't reap where you do not sow. And for you to begin to talk about taxing the economy, first and foremost, is an input-output thing. The economy has to do well before you start talking of taxing it. You don't tax a non-existent economy. So first and foremost, you create the environment for the economy to thrive. Okay. Are you taxing people who are hungry to give you what? So these things are things that we need to carefully understudy. Then you are looking at inflation, and in some places you see the speaker saying that insecurity is becoming a threat to food security in the country. Is he just realizing? All this while that people, those farmers' header crisis has been ravaging the country. Nobody has, he didn't know it will affect food security. All this while they have been displacing farmers, everywhere. If you expect food to appear from nowhere or manna should fall from heaven, it doesn't work like that. So the insecurity situation is definitely going to affect food security.
And we have food prices skyrocket by 90.
Yes, it's more than that.
Southeast hits hardest.
It's more than that. Yes, because of obviously in the Southeast we still have the insecurity challenge, but at the same time our land mass is smaller relative to other states. But funny enough, the former governor of Kano State, who is now the APC national chairman, is saying that he has solutions to the insecurity challenge. And you'll be wondering why not talk and since? What was he doing when he was?
Probably the idea just came.
If he is still okay.
He's still okay.
So let him profile the
well, it's good. At least he's the ruling party. So he should, and he has the access to Yasorok. He can really give them what they are looking for.
Do you announce solution or you profile solution?
He has the solution.
So
what is why let him come bring the solution to the table?
which solution?
So
he's in charge of Nigeria today. The party is in charge. So why not just go inside the house and then let us see
the solution?
Either is preferring solution. Again,
I don't know where the central bank is hoping to get a relief for the economy that will push inflation prices down to 15%.
Yeah.
Even the, I think 34 or so percent that we have as the current inflation rate, for me is very conservative. It's suspect. The inflation rate in this country should be hovering between 60 to 80%. Yes, just use your basic personal expenses.
Yeah, and the way there is the defending federal government 15% inflation.
It's unworkable. That value, that 15% can only happen in a dream. Yes, it can. Yes, it's dreaming, honestly, because the inflation we are suffering in this country is not demand pull. That is, it's not because people are demanding excess of what is available. No, people for demand pull inflation to work, people must have money in their pockets. Something that happened during like the Udoji era, where people became richer. Yes, Udoji award. People became richer. Then they were virtually buying everything at sight. That was then. The kind of inflation we have now is cost driven. It's cost push. People, how many manufacturers are producing enough? Is it the ones that are shutting down by the day? You understand? So we're not talking about how to reinflate the economy so that we can be matching what the economy needs to sustain itself with what we are producing. We are not producing enough, and the cost of input is increasing further. Minus minimum wage of 70,000, which cannot even buy a bag of rice. To me, is not yet there. But minus the minimum wage, other things, the price of every other thing is increasing, and it's crazy. So for you to produce anything, you know what it will cost you to get these things done. Then you now bring in,
raw materials and all that.
Raw materials, government, this thing,
taxation
and crazy operating environment. We are talking about power. You need power to drive production that will bring inflation down. But we are still talking about national grid. Then you will produce, you will build 30 substations, maybe 35.
And transport made 150.
Yes, ironically, the same from the same power. So it means that if the private sector is reaping this kind of benefit, but our discourse are always declaring bankruptcy, then somebody is not telling us something. There's an information gap somewhere, and we need to tell ourselves the truth about these things. Then the debt management office is releasing another bond, and definitely people will oversubscribe. But tomorrow now you will hear the same government wake up and say, oh, the debt problem, the debt issue is now becoming a challenge. It's becoming worrisome. We do not know. we are borrowing our way into a crisis. And mortgaging the future of the unborn generation. The other day they told us that the debt per capita is about 700 something thousand. You have not done anything as an individual. You are already owing. Your share of the national debt is over 700,000. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Okay, somebody has joined us. Kainyo Kwambi, the other side. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you make it louder, please?
Yeah, I'm Roy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Stefani, another guest. I welcome you people.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, I can call you from Oka.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm more if this particular government follow to also our na fake news government. Keduka onye aroge. Yes, we are going na 2023. We go apparate 23,000 naira. Na year, no can pay 75,000 naira per bag. There goes to only 90% increase. The inflation rate will inflation of food prices. The same thing, beef around 70 naira per cup or so, or thereabouts. Tata energy 400 naira, 500 naira a cup. Kamado, out around this government. The increase, I go more than 400%. I'm not going to go to like something percent. So, this government, somebody who some time ago, now cover that now. Anybody who out of frustration, more out of hunger, and this regime, they also know that they are the cause of the death of those people. And now more and more people will feel that the punishment will not be on them. I'm not talking about the level of more, and maybe they are deliberately impoverishing the masses.
Okay, summarize what I can do something about that.
Okay, you're done. All right. Okay, from Tribune, Ekiti government denies the existence of a Sharia court, says no Sharia court panel in state's judicial structure allow fake kingmakers. Priests will decide when to start right. That's from Professor Abimbola, Interior Minister. Orders deployment of passport printers in Atlanta, New York consulates. Japa, only 6,000 medical consultants remain in Nigeria. Just one or two produced annually. 1,700 consultants approaching 60-year retirement age. Timothy Adegoke, Appeal Court affirms Adedoyi's death sentence. Transcorp Power posts 115% pre-tax profit to pay full dividend of 37.5 billion naira. 77% of Nigerian women use skin lightening products. That's from federal government. And then we have a report on how police rescued this AIG's wife from abductors. You can read that from page 4 of the Tribune. FD directs WAEC NEC orders to inscribe name and date of birth, photograph on certificates, declares war on exam malpractices, says all exams in Nigeria will be 100% CBT by 2027 as JAMB registrar heads committee on CBT migration. And finally, alleged 2.8 billion naira fraud. Ex-aviation minister Sirika approved a contract for son-in-law's firms. That's a report credited to EFCC witness.
All right, and from Daily Trust, we have a court proscribes Lakurawa sect, declares it terrorist organization. Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger to launch common passport. Federal government spends 9 billion naira on Shiroro Mando Kaduna power line. Transcorp Power records 305.9 billion naira revenue in 2024. And finally, from Daily Trust, NSCIA explains support for Quran Festival. Tinubu others to attend festival. And just a few minutes, just 1 minute each. Let's wrap up before we go.
All right, we also have a comment from also Francis Omagan Naman on Facebook. Watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Good morning, distinguished analysts in the studio. Mr. President and other relevant authorities should collaborate to address the lingering telecoms tariff hike and the electricity tariff hike to ameliorate the plight of the poor masses in this country. May God help us. Thank you. Keep your comments coming. Back to the analysts in the studio.
Okay, how Nigeria can leverage on tertiary institution on tap talents, you know?
Just a minute.
Yeah, so you see, there's no synergy between our universities and the industries, and all that development plan has no correlation with whatever we produce in the universities. Kudos to the Bishop of Aguleri, Pioneer Bishop of Aguleri, who's celebrating his birthday today. Better days ahead as you walk in the God's vineyard.
Okay. Congratulations to you on your birthday, Biggie.
We need to, the sooner we pay attention to what is going on in the Southwest with the influx of banditry and this conversation about Islamization that started with the Oyo State government in Ekiti. Before you know, these guys will just come in through the back door. And mind you, after the Southwest, the next place is the Southeast. So while we are folding our hands, say, consign us, it may end up consigning us in the future. Then lastly, the president is the chairman of the ECOWAS body.
Yes.
And he needs to be seen to be doing more in trying to bring back, some level of policy coordination and reintegration of lost states into the union. Because look at what is happening between Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Those guys, especially this francophone aspect part of ECOWAS, we need to understand what is actually going on
The
there.
Sahel region.
Yes, otherwise we'll be caught napping. Thank you.
All right, this is where we end up on press review this morning. We want to thank our analyst, Chukwunonso Ekesiobi, PhD from the Department of Economics, Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Baria, Anambra State. Thank you so much for coming on press review.
My pleasure.
And of course, Kekadibu Oguno Ifeanyi, thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure.
All right, so this is where we end on press review this morning. At exactly 9, Habitat Dawn show will be coming your way. The TGIF edition, TGIF failing.
Yes,
I already gave you a taste of what to have by 9. We'll be talking about people that will carry somebody and say, order anything you want, because that's not they bring too much problem. We want to iron it today. Which one is order anything you want?
You want to iron and dry clean it. All right. Roy, thanks for joining us on Press Review today. Join us again at 9 on another issue.
Yes.